Hey there, this is your educator Rajni Jha, and you're watching the ninth part of Subject and Verb Agreement, which is also the last part of Subject and Verb Agreement. Thank God, right? You can read about me in this slide, and if you like the video, do rate, review, and recommend it. Also, you can follow me at Unacademy at this link. Now, this rule number 12, is about the phrases a number of and the number of. This is how you should remember it. The phrase a number of means several or many. And just consider this phrase a number of as a fixed and complete phrase. You should not break it off. Since this phrase means many, and we have already studied that many is followed by a plural noun, and that is followed by a plural verb. So after a number of, the noun has to be plural and the verb has to be plural as well. Okay, but the second phrase, the number of, in case of the number of, just break this phrase and consider the number and of as separate parts. Okay, here again, like we studied in the case of one, none, either, neither, that after them, if of is used as a preposition, then the noun after it will be plural, but the verb after that will be singular. The same goes for this phrase as well. In case of the number of, actually the main subject is this word, the number. And since this is singular, obviously number is singular and numbers are plural, numbers would be plural. So since this word, the number, is singular and this is the main subject, the verb would be according to the main subject only and the verb will be singular. But this noun shows the total number and that is why it will be plural. Okay, so after a number of, the noun will be plural and the verb will be plural, but after the number of, the noun will be plural but the verb will be singular, and you know the reason why. Next, let's look at the following sentences. The first sentence is a number of students or student has or have completed the project. Now you know that after a number of, the noun has to be plural, so I will choose students, and the verb has to be plural as well, so I will choose have, and the correct sentence would become a number of students have completed the project. Next, a number of guests or guest has or have turned up. Now again, I know that a number of is a complete phrase which means many or several, so it will be followed by a plural noun. So I will choose guests, and it that in turn will be followed by a plural verb, so I will choose have, and the correct sentence would become a number of guests have turned up. Next sentence, the number of students has or have decreased. Now I know the phrase the number of is followed by a plural noun and a singular verb. So after this, after the number of, I have written students, but the verb has to be singular, so I will choose has, and the correct sentence would become the number of students has decreased. Next, the number of members registered in the club is or are 20. Again, you can see the sentence starts with the phrase the number of, and after the number of, the noun has to be plural but the verb will be singular. So here I have written members, which is a plural noun, but I have to choose a singular verb, so I would go for is, and the correct sentence would become the number of members registered in the club is 20. Next rule. The next rule is about unit of measurements like liters, kilometers, meters, etc. Period of time like hours, days, minutes, seconds, years, and sum of money like 400 rupees or $20, 20 euros, etc. So whenever you find these three things, unit of measurements, period of time, or sum of money, as a subject in a sentence, you should remember that they are always considered as singular. So if they are singular, obviously the verb has to be singular only. Simple, right? Okay, let's just look at the following sentences now. The first sentence is 20 microliters of blood is or are suitable amount to use. Now, I know that microliters, it's a unit of measurement. So, be it 1 or 20, it doesn't matter. As long as it is a unit of measurement and this is the subject, it will be considered singular only. And since this is singular, the verb will be singular. And therefore, the correct sentence becomes 20 microliters of blood is a suitable amount to use. Next, 5 kilos is or are the maximum weight for hand luggage. Now here you can see again this word kilos. It shows that it's a unit of measurement, and be it 1 or 5, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a unit of measurement and it is a subject, it will be considered singular only, and since this is singular, the verb has to be singular. Therefore, the correct sentence would be 5 kilos is the maximum weight for hand luggage. Next, 5 meters was or were too far for a patient to walk unassisted. Okay, again in this sentence you can see meters, it's a unit of measurement, and as long as a unit of measurement is used as a subject, it has to be considered as singular only. And since this is singular, the verb will be singular, therefore I would choose was, and the correct sentence would be 5 meters was too far for the patient to walk unassisted. Next is 8 weeks is or are needed for treatment. Now here I've already told you that days, weeks, months, these would be considered as period of time, and as long as it is used as a subject, it will be considered as singular only. And since this is singular, the verb has to be singular. Therefore, the correct statement would be 8 weeks is needed for treatment. Next, 5 minutes is or are all it takes to answer the question. Again, 5 minutes is a period of time, and since it is a subject here, this would be considered as singular only, and since the subject is singular, the verb has to be singular, so I would choose is, and the correct sentence becomes 5 minutes is all it takes to answer the questions. Next, $50 is or are very expensive for a test tube rack. Now $50, it's a sum of money, and I know that if the sum of money is used as a subject, it is considered as singular, so it will be considered as singular, and since the subject is singular, the verb will be singular only, and therefore the correct sentence becomes $50 is very expensive for a test tube rack. Next, 500 rupees is or are too much for him. Again, 500 rupees, it's a sum of money, and this is subject here, and I know that if the sum of money is used as a subject, it will be considered as singular, and since this is singular, the verb has to be singular, so I would choose is, and the sentence becomes 500 rupees is too much for him. That is all for this topic, subject and verb agreement, and I hope I was able to make all the rules clear to you. But still, if you have any doubt in any of the videos, in any of the rules of subject verb agreement, do not forget to post them in the comment section. I will definitely try to solve them all. Thank you very much for watching the video, and till the next time, take care.